of them, boys and girls. We need to wake up, women. The time is now. It can't be tomorrow. You know, when they then did the geopolitical distribution of this drug usage, they found that the Southwest has the highest rate of use in Nigeria, 22.4%. Southwest. You know, many of us, we used to profile malams. They say, in the North, they use, of course they do. But the rate of use in Southwest is huge, 22.4%. And now when they broke down the Southwest states, Lagos State has the highest in Nigeria, 33%. And I can tell you, and you know, there is no street of Lagos where they don't sell drugs. I can tell you, if I walk this your street in 5 minutes, I will tell you. Look, let me tell you something. Pastor told me something. He called me to Abuja to come and minister. So he said to me, he said one day he was doing a prayer walk. Then God said to him that, Alagba, you are still doing prayer walk. That in 5 years time you will not be able to walk on the street. If we are not careful, I'm not scaring you, the same thing will happen. Today, do you know that people are taking it without care? And they are taking it in homes without your knowing. I'll come to it. Do you know in the Southwest has probably the highest rate of higher institutions in Nigeria? If you know the rate of use amongst undergraduates, you will run. And when I say this, I mean Christian universities. We started a center when I was in CADAM in Abeokuta, where we see undergraduates, graduates, professionals, and workers for a 3-month program. We started in 2019, but because of COVID, we didn't. From that time till I left, we had seen about 75 architects, doctors, nurses, undergraduates. Out of that 75, 45 or thereabout were from Christian universities. Out of that 45, 30 were the children of pastors. Pastor, I've asked them in Redeem, they say I'm a rebel. I've asked them, why is the husband a pastor and the wife a pastor? I don't know the reason for it. They are taking both custodians of children away from home at critical times. And you know, when I talk, and the pastors will say to me, after taking these children, leading them the way of Christ, tell me how you lead them the way of Christ. By bringing them to church, that is not the way of Christ. For as long as nobody is entrenching in their memories the meaning of Christianity, we are deceiving ourselves. You know, some of these children of pastors told me that they don't believe in God. Because some of them say to me that I know what my father does. And then you say he's a pastor. So how can he talk to me? We will come to it. You know, the world should worry us as a nation. In this statistic, they found that the highest rate of use was between ages 25 and 39. If you look at 25 and 39, what is that? Productive sector. And when that is gone, that is why these politicians will never go. When they destroy the young people, they will stay there for life. But you see, they will pay a price. I tell you, their children will not give them rest. I know, because I know what we see. The Lord will help us. Let me quickly move. What are the drugs commonly used in Nigeria? There's no drug that is not available here. But for ease of communication, I've classified it into 4 categories. Socially acceptable. Socially acceptable, which means that you can be doing it and nobody will worry. Alcohol and cigarette. Alcohol is the most dangerous drug in the world. But you know one thing? WHO is struggling with it to classify it. You know why? For economic reasons. I don't know whether you read 2 days ago, they said NAFDAC is raiding and blocking sachet drinks. You know the people that have cried about it? Manufacturers. If we're not careful, they will rescind the order unless the women speak. I wish I had brought some. I showed you EFA the day I worked with those. If you are walking, just be looking at those sachets you see around your house. How many of you know about Alomo bitters? Oh, you know. But if you read the label, Alomo bitter has 42% alcohol content. Adonko has 42. Action bitters has 40. I can begin to Erujeje, all those kind of funny names. That is how they get our young people. Because the sachet is about 50 naira. Now they moved it to 100, but it's still affordable. And there is nowhere you will not see it being sold. Just like that. If you come with me to the joint, when they wake up, they first of all take 2. And then they use something over it. Excuse me, we're in a grave danger. You know why I'm saying this? All of us will feel comfortable in church. You better don't be. You better don't, because you don't even know your church members. Many of you say, oh, not a problem. You don't know what your driver does. Your housemaid, your gardener, they are the ones who bring it to your children. In the Christian universities, you know those who supply them, the security men. The people who work in the canteen, in the laundry, they bring them in. Do you know that they tested some pilots 2 years ago? 14 of them tested positive. Pilots. So just imagine for a moment. You may say, oh, it doesn't bother me. My children don't use. You fly. You travel by road. Hardly would you see a downfall driver that does not use. The children, you put your children in schools. You don't know, the schools don't know the status of the driver. And it puts about 20 children into the lagoon. You say it doesn't bother you. It will bother you. I went to see a friend of mine many years ago because, you know, in CADAM we used to beg for money. In the midst of plenty, we still struggle, which is the state of the church. So I went to my friend, big man. I said, oh boy, give me money. He said, Dogsy, go and sit down. You just left your job. You started sitting with people who don't have future. I said, it's a lie. They have a future. We are denying them the future. So I said to him, you know you have 2 children. He said, yes. They school abroad. He said, yes. I said, just imagine for one moment that they come home for summer and somebody shoots them on a pump. He said, I said, that is what is possible. If you don't do something, something will do you. Cigarette, alcohol, I've left it. Let me go to illicit drug. Illicit because you know it's illegal. Marijuana, heroin, cocaine. You know that madam mentioned crystal meth. How many of you know what crystal meth is? How many of you are Igbos here? Where are Igbos? Don't worry, just show your hand. Right. You know, crystal meth is what they call Miri. Thank you, sir. And on the street, it's called ice because it looks like ice. If somebody takes ice, for 3 days, 3 nights, he may not sleep. And he will not want to eat. And he will be active. But you know what? It destroys the brain. It destroys the organs and it kills. You will see them begin to lose weight. Excuse me, you know, when you see these people, they are victims. Don't run away from them. They need help. Nobody walks into a trap and stays there. And so, you know why marijuana should worry us? There are now many varieties of marijuana. There's a naturally occurring cannabis. There's a synthetic cannabis. The synthetic cannabis is loud, Canadian loud, Arizona, Colorado. Can you see the name? That is what they do to captivate young people. And you know, the thing is, if you see somebody, Colorado, Arizona, Canadian loud, they're synthetic marijuanas. What do I mean? The marijuana content of those things are just about 10 to 11%. The rest are chemicals and herbs. That is why it destroys their brain. Have you seen somebody who uses Arizona? Hey, oh, hey. They can't control themselves. He can walk into a moving vehicle. He didn't know. I know maybe some of you have heard about what they call skunk. SK. When I talk to young people, they say it's weed. It is not weed. Part of it is weed. The rest is dry leaves of pawpaw and cocaine. I want to be very careful so that people are not excited to go and be looking for it. Now, let me go to prescription drug. That is also what should frighten us, women. Prescription drug, because they are prescribed in hospital for normal use. But somehow, our young people have found out that they can use it for other benefits. Let me give you an example of codeine containing cough syrup. Codeine, Benylin, Tutilin, Emzolin, all those lean, they have codeine. When we started talking about this many years ago, nobody listened until BBC came and did a documentary. We began to run around. They now said they wanted to ban codeine. I told them now that I was silly and late and stupid. And I'll tell you why. Today you can still buy codeine. If they know you very well, they will sell it to you. You know, before they banned it, codeine, Benylin, all this was selling for less than 1,000. But today you buy for between 5,000 and 10,000 a bottle. Because they mix it with other stuff. There's a Christian university who knew very early. They banned the sale of Indomie noodles and colored drinks in their university, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. They don't sell it in their bottle. Because students will buy Coca-Cola or Pepsi-Cola or Lacasera. They will drink it, pour a bit, and pour codeine in it. They will, look, I'm telling you, any young person that is in with a bottle of those drinks for more than 15 minutes is not a drink. Because if it's Coca-Cola, you will finish it. But when they begin to carry it around, something don't day inside. And not only that, you know, we need to be careful every day. They now call, there's something sold, they call milk, Vita milk. Is it Vita milk? You know, it looks like milk. But people don't, they begin to add something. I don't mean people selling, but you can buy it and add something and be carrying it innocently. Zobo. Be careful where you buy your Zobo. I'll come to it if I have the time. This is my timekeeper. Now, how many of you know about tramadol? TM. Tramal. You know, in hospital, for those who are nurses or doctors, we use tramadol to treat moderate and severe pain. But the dosage is 50 milligrams. But I want to tell you, the dosage of tramadol on the street starts from 200. 200, 250, 500, 1,000 milligrams. And you know the tragedy of a nation, people import it. A man was caught in VGC who used his house as a store for tramadol. 3 years ago, they seized a container of tramadol at the wharf. They counted the tablets. They found out that if they distributed it amongst all Nigerians, each Nigerian will have 3 tablets. And I tell you something, if they didn't catch him within 2 weeks, he will be gone. In the same VGC, they found a man who was cooking methylcrystal. A mansion. In the house, he lives with his wife and little child. And he has a man who was his assistant. They don't need more than this place to have a laboratory. The NDLEA have detected about 34 laboratories in Nigeria where they manufacture methylcrystal. Excuse me, we're in a dangerous place. Women, where will you be in this matter? That's tramadol. But you know, how many of you have heard about something called scoochies? You will hear. That is now a normal thing at parties. And let me tell you how they prepare it. They can use strawberry, they can use blackcurrant, they can use zobo because of the color, They'll put it in a big bowl. They will soak marijuana in it for like 2 days. They will pour tramadol in it and put codeine. They will now put it in jerry can. So at parties, they'll be serving it. Young people, I hear that you are here. I want to beg you by the mercies of God. Yesterday when I spoke at King's Court, a woman got up and said her boss was the chairman of a wedding in this Lagos. The wedding was going on. Then they suddenly noticed that from a table, a lady just got up and began to dance. And she would throw off her shoes and she was really there. So the man said, this is part of the bridesmaid. Now what did they happen? They now found out from that table they had served them pepper soup. You know they put it in pepper soup. Excuse me. If I am shocking you today, I am glad. Because you need to wake up. Please don't let us sit down in church. Church, God is there. God is there. But knowledge is primary. There is no food today that is innocent. They use it to cook noodles. They use it to cook beans. They use it to cook fried rice, jollof rice. They use it for pepper soup. They use it as tea. So please, ladies in particular, girls, if you go to a party, if they give you a drink, open it by yourself. Don't let anybody open it. Boys have nails. They will keep Refnol. They call it roofie. It's tiny. They call it's a date rape drug. They will drop it in. With Refnol, 10 men can rape you. You will know they are raping you, but you can never recognize them. Refnol. They call it roofie. If you want to know those who take it, if they open their mouth, the tongue will be blue. Don't mind me too much. But you know why I'm saying this? I need you to wake up, young people. Please, I say to young people, don't go to the party of a friend of a friend. If you don't know that friend well, don't go. Because you can't trust people. Look, let me tell you something that happened. A woman called a caterer to bake cake for her son's birthday, 14th birthday. She said, put marijuana. Mother. So the caterer said, Mrs. Madam, I cannot do it. But I'm paying you. He said, but my son likes it. I'm not telling you stories that I don't know. 14. My son likes it. Let me now go to the last one. Miscellaneous. You know why we call it miscellaneous? Before we say drug abuse, we don't call it drug abuse anymore. We call it substance abuse because of this category. How many of us know that nail polish remover is a drug of addiction? Methylated spirit, gum, Evo stick, petrol. A girl told me when I ministered at Acme many years ago, she said her younger sister at 12, anytime they go to buy petrol, she likes to stand by the dispenser because she was hailing the fumes. A woman, that's why I say women are very pivotal. She said, I think my son is doing something. I say, why? 14-year-old. He said, methylated spirit is disappearing in the house. I say, madam, you know what you will do? Take him and go and buy another bottle. Let him see where you put it. The moment he goes away, take it away. So she did that. Next, the boy came and said, Mommy, we bought methylated spirit. Where is it? The woman said, what do you need it for? If you want to know, hand sanitizer is also used. They will pour it in handkerchief. They will think they have cold. They are sniffing. So, there are some that are naturally occurring. Is anybody from the north here? Northern part of Nigeria? Don't worry if you are from the north, just show your hand. I'm not saying you take it. They call something zakami. Zakami seed is a naturally growing thing. It's extremely potent. We are still studying it in NDLEA to know the components. Many of you are Yoruba. You know what they call gegemu. You know gegemu? Gegemu is a naturally occurring plant. People plant it at the back of the house to drive snake because it has leaves and it has fruit. No, it's not taba. It's not a way taba. No, you see, let me tell you the difference. Gegemu has fruits. Taba does not have. Gegemu has roughing fruits like this, rough edge. It was in a university, they told me this a few years ago. They will pluck the leaves and boil it like you boil vegetable. The liquid from it, kai, don't touch it. They will put it in bottles and be given in at parties. Extremely potent. It can knock you 24 hours. So when they finish with the leaves, they will take the fruit, they will dry it, grind it, and use it as snuff or put it in drinks. Naturally occurring. Next slide, sir. So, why do people use drugs? Next slide. I'll just quickly run through so that parents can. Mr. IT, why do people use drugs? Experimentation. Oh, if you use it, it will make you read very well. It gives inspiration. You know, people say they use marijuana because it inspires them. It's a lie. You know, all those things that when you say you take, it makes you feel like something, is a lie. It is called perception. Anything that you give to 10 people that does not evoke the same sentiment is not true. It is something you created. You know, some people say to me that, oh, when I take stout, it makes me sleep. I say, well done, sir. I say, before you met stout, how have you been sleeping? It's just an illusion. You know, truly, when you take drugs, it gives a high. It is not, the high means you feel different. It makes you feel different as if you are superhuman. But you know the danger, the lie of the devil, you will never feel the same way with the same drug anymore. So when you take it next time, why it no reach? You say, add another. Add another. So after a while you say, let us use another concussion, whether you will. You never will. A lie of the devil. That's why we call it chasing the dragon. Dysfunctional family situation. Pastor, I have begged pastors in Redeem, can we return to Eden to begin to talk about family issues? There are too many people sitting here. They wear good clothes. They are struggling. But we don't know. Because we are carried away with Solomon. Solomon, we thank God for Solomon. No? In the Bible, we can read it. David, we can read it. But how does the situation of Solomon and David impact my life? That is what people want to hear. Somebody comes in here, we are talking about prosperity. He doesn't have a way of going back home. I'm not a pastor, but I'm begging us, shall we return to Eden? So that we can, you know why people like you are lucky? Your churches are not too big. They want big churches, but it is wrong. When churches are too big, the pastor cannot know his people. And he cannot see their suffering. Imagine a church of 2,000. How can Pastor Adema see one? Except the one that sits in front or wears big agbada. But what about that person at the back that just needs, like that woman with the issue of blood? She just touched the hem. There are many people looking for the hem of Jesus in this place. I mean the church, I don't mean here. But God will help us. Escape from reality. The young people say the pressure is too much. Let me tell you this story. A few years ago, a lady came to me and she's the head of the teenage church in a Redeemed church. She said there's a girl she wants to bring, a 17-year-old girl who's been using drugs since she was 12. And the parents did not know. The father and the mother are pastors in the church. And she was playing instruments. She and the brother. So after a while, she was tired. She told us, please, I need to stop or else I will die. But don't tell my parents. So when the lady came, I said, there's no way we can help her without the parents knowing, because they too be involved in her rehabilitation. So the mother came with her the next day. If you saw the way she was talking to me, you would think I was the one giving the girl drugs. I said, Mrs. Madam, now here I sit down, then bring your daughter, not to me. She goes off, and she said, they never came back. Then left church, moved to another church. But you know the saddest part of the story? The girl started living in the joints. I don't know where she is now. She has been admitted to read banking and finance at Unilag. She never made it. There are many like that. She started at 12, you know what, with alcohol. The alcohol in their bar at home, she would take and put water. But then she met a boy on Facebook, an undergraduate. So they were chatting. The girl said, when I get her, my mom shouts too much. Women, be careful. Shouting doesn't help. God will help you, Benny. So this boy said, when you get annoyed, what do you say? I take alcohol. Alcohol. After a few hours, it will wear off. He said, come on Monday, I'll show you what you will take. If she dey shout for one day, you know who feel am. You know where they met? They met on the premise of a church in Yaba. Church. And this boy introduced her to cocaine. She started taking cocaine at 13 plus. And the parents did not know. Even our colleagues in the choir did not know. So when they came, you know why I'm saying this? It is easy to use drugs. It is easy to hide it. Easy availability and affordability. The people creating this, they make it so cheap to different levels so you can get your own. Do you know today the sachet of beverages like Ovaltine, Bournvita, Milo? I wish I had shown you the video as well. They will buy it, the sachet, they will cut it very neatly. They will grind tramadol. They will put powder of marijuana, mix it. They will sell it again as beverage. They will use hot iron to seal it up. So when you see young children eating Milo or Bournvita, they eat something. You know, in that video, the woman mentioned something. They now order it. They don't need to go to the joint. If you notice around your house, all these dispatchers that are coming too much, it's not food though. It's not. General Marwa has arrested over 100 and something dispatch riders. Some of them didn't know what they were carrying because they ordered it, but some knew that was their business. Even some bolts, you know, God will help us. Peer pressure. I don't have time today. I will have talked to you how peer pressure affects our children. It comes mainly from the family because we put pressure on them. The way I'm looking at you, you can't make look at your sister. Your sister is already doing. You are just doing. And we expect them to do well. You know the danger when they now think about my parents is saying I can't make it. Can I make it? So when they get to school or somewhere else and teachers say, you are not doing well, Lodo, he say, mommy has said so. They reinforce it. They fail. And we say, why is he not doing well? You know what I tell parents? Parents, listen. How many of you know Wole Soyinka? You know. The children also know. Well done, children. Do you know what he read? English literature. His younger brother, Professor Femi Soyinka, taught me medicine, dermatology. If I ask you, do you know Femi Soyinka, you will struggle. It is not what a man reads, it's what he makes of what he has read. Excuse me, parents. I have seen doctors who don't have cars. How many of you know cakes and cream? Are you going to know them now? Do you know what she read? She read law. She never practiced for one day. Now cake she dey make. If you enter any franchise of that place, it's always full. You don't go get place to stand. She read law. So please, parents, I'm begging you, whatever your your child wants to read, discuss it, know that there's an end why she chose that thing. Don't quarrel. It may be the better person than person. Do you know that Cakes and Cream can pay 10 lawyers? She will not go feel them. And there are many lawyers working, they don't earn 60,000. May God give us wisdom. That your song say, clear vision. Please go and read that song again. Ignorance. Some of the young people don't know what they are taking. You are coming from lecture, you see your friend eating beans. Oh boy, being pami, he gives you beans. You don't start with that. You don't say, oh boy, this your beans different too. You say, not to worry, not to worry. Next time you say, do you have beans again? You know, I went to the university, I wrote to the VCs of Christian University. I said, but you are the one that can show example. Don't expel these students again. They are not addicts. Some of them listen, some of them didn't listen. Because they are just occasional users, social users. People pressure to use. So when you send them away, what are you doing? But you know the danger of that. They are allowing the thing to fester in their school. I went to a Christian university to speak many years ago. After speaking, somebody wrote me a note. He said, excuse me, sir, don't tell the VC my name, but tell them to go to the postgraduate hall and enter the ceiling. When they entered the ceiling, the exhibit they brought, it was huge. There's a Christian university today that deceives itself. You know why? They will do tests for their students. They don't know that these students know that the kit they are using does not catch Colorado. So everybody is using Colorado. So they say our school is clean. It is not. Now let me go to telltale signs. Pastor, how many minutes I get? Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to put him in a corner. So he will not be able to tell me time. But I will try to be rushed. Red and rheumy eyes. When you see reddish eyes or eyes as if they are crying, discharging. But can I tell you something that may be enough? The students, the young people have found out that when the eyes are red, they can buy Vicin eye drop. If they use it, it will clear the redness. So you will not be any wiser. Use of strong menthol or strong perfume. When they begin to use those things, something is happening. Poor school performance. Somebody A class. I don't know if you watch channels a few weeks ago. I went with one of guys that graduated from us who is now doing very well. He's now back in the university. He said when he entered the university, he was top grade. By the end of that session, he was one of the worst in his class. And he was head of the Christian fellowship in his university. Truancy from school or church. Pastor say, no, I don't mean you. I mean, pastor will say, they're my children, they come to church. When you are going to church, you say, I'll meet you in church. You don't know where they go first before they come. Wanting to be alone. In your father's house, you want to have privacy. You have to go and rent your own house. So. I don't know why children will be locking their own room in their father's house. Who get the room? Who get you? Because those are the ways in which a father called me a few days ago. His SS3 boy. He noticed that he was taking some, but they don't know what. So he went looking for him in the house. He didn't see him in his room. Opened his toilet. He found him sitting on the toilet seat, with the cover on. His trousers, everything was on. He was smoking something. In the home. You know why they can? Many of these things have been perfumed, so they don't have smell. Frequent change your friends. You don't know their friends. When they want to go out, they go out in the evening, 4, come back at midnight. Loss of interest in the surroundings or activities they use to enjoy. Somebody who liked football, like tennis, Daddy, what are they doing? There's something wrong. Looking unkempt. They don't care anymore about that. They don't brush. If you go to the joint, somebody has not had bath in months. They have not even brushed their teeth. wearing dark glasses, even in enclosed spaces. Tendency towards violence. Some beat their parents. Some kill their parents. I know of one that killed his father, a pastor in the camp, many years ago. He butchered him, put him in a Ghana must go, dragged him to the... And so when they came to the... he said he went to evangelism. But when they met him, he was drinking wine. Somebody had just killed his father. But he didn't know what he did. But you know the important... Next slide. Okay, yes, you are there. I can say all this. Don't feel bad. There is hope. And there's one man who carries the hope, Jesus Christ. He's the hope of the world. He's the only one that can deliver a person from addiction. It is not us blowing grammar. It is him. So I want to end by going to talk about the role of the family and the role of the church. So, what is the role of the family in all this? It is extremely critical. Every vice you see in our country today, the degeneration started from the home. Let's not deceive ourselves. If we don't do something about the home, we can't solve this problem. Not NDLEA cannot. The work is too much. Parents need to be parents again. There are too many parents that they themselves need parenting. Many parents need parenting. Because I don't know why a parent will go to a child's school and slap a teacher. I don't know it. In the presence of the child. Do you know many of these private schools that pay so much big money, you are breeding babala nonsense. The teachers cannot touch your children because of the money you pay. The parent will say, from the school fees, we pay your salary. How can then she correct the student? So they watch. They watch. We must be observant of early behavioral changes. What do I mean by, please know your children. You know, people think the way of showing affluence is by giving them everything they want. Getting housemaid, getting driver, taking them to school. I'm not saying it's not good, but be involved. Be involved. Many times these students tell us that they don't need the money you give them. They need you. How many fathers go to PTA? Men are they here? How many of you they go to PTA? They don't go. They will say it is woman's problem. It is not. You know why it's important for you to go? You will know the progress of your child. When it's time to sit for exam or to do jam, you know let your child decide. You then say, go and read medicine because my friend's son is reading medicine. When the boy is good in fine art. I'm not castigating, no. But I'm just asking us to check ourselves. When the children, you know, many times when our children misbehave, they are crying for help. But you know what parents say? Stubborn child, you ought to stubborn you. It is not true. The child is saying, why don't you look at me? There's a problem. Look at your children. Let me tell you this story. I don't know whether you know Meghan Markle, the wife of Prince Harry. She wrote an article. You can go and check it. Google it. It's on New York Times. She wrote it in 2021. The title of the article is The Losses We Share. The losses we share. You know what she spoke about? She said she traveled with Harry to Botswana. You know, people were massing around them. One journalist came and said, are you okay? She said she looked and said, why did this man ask me the question? The person said, it's not for you, but I just want to find out in all of this that people are you okay? She said it touched her. Men, when you ask your wife, are you okay? Are you waiting for an answer? No. You assume. Yet she's not okay. The same thing with our children. Jide, are you okay? Daddy, I'm okay. And then you walk away. It's okay. Be very observant. Be very, you know, when you go for an interview, they don't look at what you say. They watch your signs. What are the things we can see? It's the same thing with children. Sometimes because of who we are as parents, they can't talk to us. But they are using sign to talk. But you can't see it because you are in a hurry to go to work. You go to work at 5 a.m., your wife goes to work at 5 a.m. You give your children to a housemaid. If she be correct person, she could be housemaid. Let us be careful. It doesn't show affluence or importance by doing all those things. My life is an example. I didn't have a child for a long time. So when I had my daughter, my wife announced that she was doing masters. Mrs. Madam, you will suspend masters. Oh. She said, no problem. The first 6 months, she didn't go for anything. We live in Omole. We said, to go to a crèche, we have to find a place that is close to our house. So that I can take her, you can pick her. We agree. You know why I'm saying this thing? The time of bonding are those times. When you wait till they are 18, you have lost them. They have gone beyond you. They then ask you, what you did before? They brought a boy from Calabar to me many years ago. The mother is a medical doctor, the medical director of a teaching hospital. The husband is a professor in Calabar. As they were coming, I was watching them. We were in Ahmed then. As they sat down, the mother said, doctor, they said you come and I said, what can I do? He said, this my boy, my son. The boy said, who is your son? It is not that you know I'm your son. When I want to talk to you, where are you? You will say you're on duty. My father is also busy. He was mad. So I called him. I took him out. I hugged him. He was crying. I said, don't worry. This is a challenge for you. But you have to change. Your life has to change. They will be gone. Where will you be? So after we talk. But today is an engineer. But not many children are that lucky. You heard what he said. He said, who is your son? You know, many of our children can ask us. You say you will be my papa. Tell me how. You pay school fees? Forget it. We must create a family altar. Please, the family altar is only for praying. It's for discussion. So that when you are finished praying, you say, Alagba, I went to your school. They said, discuss. When you want to take a decision about them, let them be aware. You can't take it and then you say, okay, you have. Okay. They then take it. One boy, when they brought him to me, was 24. He was in final year mechanical engineer in Unilag. The parents brought him. The father said, he says he will kill him. I said, he will kill you, true. You know what the boy said to me? He said when he was age 10 was when he decided he was going to kill his father one day. And he was 24. Do you know what your children think about you? You need to find out. Family altar. We must act as primary role models for our children. A mother came with 2 sons. Then Christian University, they were using marijuana, but they had not been caught. So I talked to them. They said they would try to stop. So when they finished, the woman said they should go to the car. He said, doctor, but my problem is this. So their father, my husband uses. I said, why are you been wasting my time? Because the boys will say, see this way. My father uses, he's not doing anything. You are telling me not to. That is the danger. Some parents use. They sell. They say their children not to use. Nah, lie. And they sell them to go and buy. When you escort the visitor, the one who remain, they could test them. Do not enable your errant children. They did a random check in a university in the Southwest. I won't mention where. They found on a student $2 million cash. So when they called the father said, Junior, how did you have 2 million? What is the meaning of that? If you have 500,000, no problem. Where did he find dollars to be carrying? Please involve them before you take decisions. Role of the church so that I can rest. Yeah. So, role of the church. That would be I've used 23 minutes over. No vex, so please. The role of the church. Please, church, endeavor to make drugs and other vices altar issues. It is not occasional. When we told people years ago that this Bet Niger It go overtake us. People didn't believe. There is no street today you don't have Bet Niger. You associate Bet Niger with drugs and then with Yahoo. We're in trouble. You know there's an association of Yahoo brothers, their mothers, forming an association. I thank God you know. Please, when you talk about these things, not in a judgmental manner. No, it's not. Set apart some worship Sundays to talk about issues. It may not be a big service like this. Tell people to sit in circles. Then tell them to send questions. Anything that comes, you'll be amazed at the questions they will send. Then deal with those things. Because that is why their life is struggling. The family ought to be the centerpiece of our sermons today. Strengthen and empower the counseling unit. You know, you can have a counseling unit and be not seeing anybody. It depends on who is managing it. If the person managing it is judgmental. You know, a young girl will walk to a counselor and say, "Auntie, I want to see you about an issue." You say, "What is it?" He say, "My boyfriend." Boyfriend care. At 16, the girl will like say, "Auntie, I was just joking." She wasn't joking. She has seen that you cannot take more than that. So she say, "Auntie, I will see you next Sunday." You will never see her again. Counselors have to be empathetic, not sympathetic. Empathetic means put yourself in the shoes of those people. The girl telling you about boyfriend has a reason why she has come. Don't send her away into the arms of the wolf. Monitor closely the vendors who sell around your school. Many of them sell drugs. Although I don't see vendor here, but they can be across the road. Ice cream, tom-tom, ironongba, under counter, something there. The church must actively discourage stigma and discrimination. What do I mean? If somebody comes to the pastor and says, "I have this issue," we must help them. We must show empathy. Not only that victim, but the families. The families are going through a lot. Much more than the victim. Because they don't know who to tell. They don't know what they can say. They are hiding it. They are struggling. Offer support to the victims and family members. Not necessarily because of money, but in terms of love. May the Lord bless us all. Thank you, and God bless you.
It's not going now. Okay, this is a session I need to remind you, if you need to ask questions that you need answers to, you will still be here. So immediately after the announcement, you will come back and attend to all those questions. So the ushers will just need to help us. You don't need to put your name, of course. Don't put your name. Just write it. So the ushers should please help us with a sheet of paper to go around for as many that will want to ask questions. God bless you.
Praise the Lord. Good morning, church. Thank you to Pastor for this opportunity. Praise the Lord. It's time for our tithes and offering. Put your hands together for Jesus. Let's quickly read 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verse 9. It says, "Then the people rejoiced, for that they offered willingly, because with perfect hearts they offered willingly to the Lord. And David the